Testing, okay. So I wanted to first start the video off with showing off my Nano Banana Pro picture here and image. I'm very proud of these. So as the title suggests, turning Karpathy into my coding agent. I thought it made a very cool depiction of Karpathy, which I think this is what he really is inside his body. A true genius, and I've been following him very closely because he's been using Cloud Code, and I've just gotten into Cloud Code in the past few weeks. And he had a rant recently on X that the God of Prompt, add God of Prompt, made a system prompt for, and I saw it and a light went off in my head that said, okay, I have to have this into my workflow because I think it's going to be so useful to help me with my app Sleep Sweep Hour as I work through it. So let me stop sharing this. So here's the Karpathy rant. I believe this was a few days ago. This was on January 26th, so about a week ago actually, or more than a week ago. So it was a very interesting take on cloud coding, and the one that kind of stood out to me the most is the IDE's agent swarms and fallibility. So just gonna quickly read some things that stood out to me, right? So you have to watch them like a hawk, right? Mistakes have changed a lot. They're not simple syntax errors anymore. They're subtle conceptual errors that a slightly sloppy, hasty junior dev might do, right? These are things that I wouldn't be able to catch, right? As I'm using coding, excuse me, agent engineering to code this app. I don't know what to look at, right? So he mentions some bloat abstractions, right? They like to overcomplicate code. They don't clean up that code after themselves. They will implement inefficient, bloated, brittle construction over 1,000 lines of code, and then it's up to me to be like, can you do this instead? And that's in English, right? I wouldn't understand the code, but just kind of seeing the outcome that happens when the changes are made. And they will still sometimes change or remove comments and code they don't like or don't sufficiently understand the side effects, even if it's orthogonal to task at hand. All this happens despite a few simple attempts to fix it via instructions in cloud.md. Despite all these issues, right, it's still huge improvement. So this was such an awesome thing. And then I saw this prompt on February 2nd, and that's why I felt like a few days ago, because I saw it from the God of Prompt, and this was so awesome. And I even reposted him thanking him, and praying praying to him for this awesome system prompt here. So essentially what he did, he turned the tweet or the X, I'm not even sure what they're called, but he turned the tweet into a system prompt to paste in cloud.md. And essentially this is what it looks like. It's a senior software engineer prompt, right? You're a senior software engineer embedded in agentic coding workflow. You write, refactor, debug, and architect code alongside a human developer. And essentially what it does, it does things like it tells you assumptions it's making. And this, I tested this and I've been using this for the past few days, and it does this exactly. It tells you the assumptions it's making, right? And correct me now or I'll proceed with these. Never silently fill in ambiguous requirements. Also, when you encounter inconsistencies, conflicting requirements, or unclear specifications, stop. Do not proceed with a guess. Name the specific confusion. Present the trade-off as this. These are all things that in my head I was thinking as I've been working with Cloud Code. Is like, is it understanding exactly what I'm saying? And I was changing my language, right, to be very specific. But this is such a good way to have validation on both sides. For me to keep improving the way that I'm speaking to it for the exact request that I want. And also for the coding agent to understand and to maybe just double check with me. Also, right, it has a bad and good, right? Bad, silently picking one interpretation, hoping it's right. Good, I see X in file A, but Y in file B, which takes precedence. Like, this is so good, right? And then you're not a yes machine. When the humans approach this clear problem, point out the issue directly. So a bunch of great stuff. I'm gonna just quickly scroll through it, but you guys can check this out, and I'll include the links to both of these posts so that you can review them yourself. But it's so much fun, and it's so awesome. So I wanted to quickly showcase this in my Cloud Code. So here's the other amazing thing about agentic engineering, right? And this is a new term that I'm getting used to. Vibe coding is what everyone's been using, but now it's agentic engineering, and it sounds a lot cooler. It sounds a lot better. Vibe coding, I don't like the word vibe. I don't know. It's not my style. But agentic engineering just feels like the right thing because, yes, like I'm not a formal engineer, but I'm engineering things. I'm engineering this app, right? The Sleep Sweep Hour app, which thinking of actually. So before I show you the showcase, right, I want to first show you what it looks like. This is it. It's like a fasting, eating, sleeping tracker that's gamified. It's heavily influenced by the game RuneScape, especially 2006 RuneScape, and it's pretty cool, right? It has sleep layer. You can check it out if you want to. But right now I'm fasting, and I got a great idea from one of the users, or who's a close friend of mine, and they asked me to um, maybe make a profile for male and female, which I haven't. This was an app I made for myself, and they asked me to see if I can, attach. So I'm gonna try that prompt right now in real time to see what it does. But what I also wanted to do, right? I wanted to share my Cloud Code chat, but I wasn't sure if anything was safe and security wise, because it mentions things on there as it's working that maybe I shouldn't have. So I asked it to make a like a live demo type where we can showcase this. It doesn't include any of the information. So I'm gonna keep the prompt exactly as I usually do. So what I'll say is sleep hour, add a male and female profile. Male and female biology behaves differently to fasting, eating, and sleeping. Use the current sources to base your changes on. Right, this is something I would start with. Maybe I would put a little bit more thought into it, but the reason I wanted to do it like this is to showcase how awesome this agentic coding philosophy has been. All right, so here we go. So assumptions I'm making. This is a real task for the app, not just demo scenario. You want this feature implemented. Profile should be a one-time setting. Current sources, I should use based by lots of differences in existing code logic, constitution, damage, etc. Scope. Correct me now or I'll proceed with these. Confusions I need resolved. Before I dive into the code base, I need clarity on the actual differences I want to implement. Here are some options. And then it gives the option. You specify the differences. Tell me exactly what should change from male versus female. Now, I'm going to stop here with the showcase. I don't want to move forward with it, but this is exactly what would help and will help someone like myself that doesn't really understand coding, doesn't understand even agentic coding that well yet, right? I've been using this thing maybe 2 weeks. I think this is my 3rd week. I don't know if I understand much. It feels like a knack, so it feels like something very natural to me, but that doesn't mean that I truly understand what's going on. So to have this embedded into the cloud code of this app, that's very important to me because I'm really enjoying it and I'm getting a little bit of traction with it among my network. This is really important. It's going to help me understand so much more as to what I'm doing, and also to not go straight into the code, mess things up. I'm not understanding, and then the agent is not understanding. There's a disconnect. This connects everything together. Thank you so much for listening. You have a great rest of your day.